Alright guys, so it is raining yet again, so I'm not able to work today, so I was going to go ahead and do the oil change on the 2009 KTM 300XC-W. This bike only has like 95 hours, and I rode, I don't know, about 4 or 5 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do an oil change on this. Normally, what I'm getting ready to show you, I would use the trailer hitch and do it outside, but it's raining. So I just have a ratchet strap, and because this bike needs to be leaned over so it doesn't make a mess, I just do that right there. Very effective. If you're lucky enough to have a different brand that has the drain plug in the bottom of the engine, that's good for you. But anyway, so I don't know if you can see it, but the bolt is right here up under the shift lever, and I use a 1/4 inch socket. This is a 13 millimeter, and I have it on a long, this is like an 8 or 10 inch wobble extension, so I can get that on there like that, no problem. Let me grab a drain pan and we'll be right back. Alright, so I've got my drain pan under here, and if I don't lean this over, it's going to make a mess with the skid plate. It'll just get everywhere, so I'm just going to put this on here. I could probably use a wrench if I wanted to, but this is just a bad place to put a drain plug, in my opinion. But they didn't ask me, so. And yes, the engine's already warmed up, if you're wondering. And there we go. Now, why am I using the oil that I'm using? I'm getting ready to tell you what I use. I use the Shell Rotella T4. And yeah, that oil looks like brand new. I run a Recluse clutch. This is one of the first Recluse designs that they came out with, and it works really good. There's almost nothing on the magnet. But yeah, this takes about 750 cc's of oil, and the oil looks pretty much brand new because it's only got a couple hours on it. So you can see it does get on the skid plate a little bit, but it's not going to go under the engine, and I'm going to spray the area off with brake parts cleaner before I'm done. So I'm going to let this drain and we'll come right back. Alright, so we're pretty much done draining. When I get the bike put upright, I'll show you where this the hole is if you're not familiar. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. And there's a crush washer at the end. I don't always replace it. I kind of look at it, which I did. Make sure it was still serviceable. Okay. I'm just going to take some brake parts cleaner and spray the area right there. We'll let that evaporate real quick. Alright, so I'm going to push this back up. So it'll be a little easier to see the bolt. It's right there. All right, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one little trick. If you will rotate the engine around to where you see the grooves, right? Because sometimes it'll be like this. Hold on. It'll be like that, and it's harder for the oil to drain in there. These are kind of difficult, but if you'll just rotate the engine around so the grooves are like that. This is I think it's Motion Pro. It will thread in here. However, my pipe is just a little too far in the way. All I want to do is get one. There we go. Just enough to have a thread on there. I'm not going to screw it all the way in. Alright, so again, I'm using the Shell Rotella T4. The clutches love it, and that's what they recommended at Recluse a long time ago, and I've just stuck with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I used the ratio right. I'm going to go ahead and I said it took 750. I believe it's 700, but we're going to check the oil level. You should have a little bolt here that will do that, but let me go ahead and get the measured amount out and we'll put it in. Alright, so I usually just measure 350 twice, but this little one makes it so much easier to not make a mess with these KTMs. Alright, so here's the bolt right here, and it even says oil level. I'm going to take a paper towel and put down here. Some will come out, and this is an 8mm hex, or it is you can also use a Torx or a Torx. I'm not sure what size it is. So I'm just going to undo it. There'll probably be some oil drip out if the oil level is correct. I'm sorry, my hands are in the way. I want to be able to catch the bolt. Okay, so some oil's coming out. Put that back. Just snug. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to let this paper towel sit here for a minute. So I had people on one of the Facebook groups, I can't remember, when I installed this tire, want to know the miles or how it's lasting. Alright, so this is an IRC VE33S. The tire's basically brand new. I have 22 miles on this tire, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I will tell you hands down, the tire that I had before this was the Sedona, I don't know, I think it was the MX903 that I put on here back in 2000 and maybe 12. So gummy tires had not even come out back then. Before that I had a trials tire. That was pretty much the gummy thing, and I ran the trials tire on this bike. I took the factory tires off, the back tire, and ran the trials tire, and then I put the Sedona the golden tire, fatty front tire on there, which I didn't particularly like that tire, but it's the wear for 22 miles. This had one ride on it, so I'm very impressed with the wear, and I got to tell you, the grip on this is phenomenal. So I run the tubeless. I believe I ran 6 psi in here. So I think next time I go riding, I'm going to drop it down to 4. I used to run like 2 pounds in my trials tire, and I could go through things, including mud, as long as I didn't spin it, and I could go up the nastiest stuff that nobody else could go up unless they had a trials tire. It was crazy. So I'm very much impressed with this tire. And like I said, these gummy hard enduro tires had never even been out. And this isn't even the gummiest one. I believe the JX8 or the IX09, is it X? I think after this one wears out, I would like to try the JX8. I'm pretty easy on tires. I'm not a throttle jockey. I don't spin the tire and all that unnecessarily. But I think I would like to try that because I believe it would give me even better grip. But anyway, I'm going to drop it down to 4 psi next time I ride and see. Also, that oil that I dumped out it was one ride. Of course, it was 22 miles, but the oil itself had 2.4 hours. So, but you know, on a dirt bike, 700 cc's of oil, I usually change the oil on this bike every 1 or 2 rides. So my stuff, I usually get my stuff to last a really long time. I got vehicles that, you know, that vehicle's got a lot of miles on it. I over maintain my stuff maybe, but you know, what do they say? Oil is cheap, engines aren't. So anyway, hopefully I'm sure everybody's probably doing their own oil change regardless of what kind of bike you have, but it's really easy, and if you don't know how, just learn, and hopefully that helps somebody. I will talk to you guys on the next video.